The Executive Director for Youth Initiative Against Violence and Human Rights Abuse is calling for caution on the part of politicians and civil servants to have a peaceful transition process and a stable takeoff of new leadership structures in Plateau State. Pwakim was speaking while addressing journalists in just the Plateau State capital. Nasiru Saidu reports.
Ahead of May 29 handing over of power in Plateau State, the Youth Initiative Against Violence and Human Rights Abuse has addressed journalists to raise some concerns regarding the smooth takeoff of the process.
It appears quite controversial at the state level here, following the setting up of the transition team, in which it was reported that the sitting government in the state unilaterally inaugurated its own main transition committee and asked the incoming governor-elect to set up this team to have a joint committee that will enable them to interface on issues for a smooth and peaceful transition, which should not be the practice. We request that there be a collaboration between the sitting governor, His Excellency Right Honorable Simon Bakolalo, and the governor-elect, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Mutfwang. This collaboration should be extended to the various committees as requested by law in the interests of Plateau citizens. It is not about the inter-party rivalry, but an act to save Plateau from delayed governance.
Other issues raised are allegations against the outgoing government regarding new appointments and sales of government properties.
There have been reported cases of sharp practices in the last days of this administration. For instance, it is alleged that the outgoing government has been deeply involved in last-minute rush to recruit people into the public service in the last 2 months. This move is also followed by a backdated promotion for civil servants that would have been promoted many years ago. While we appreciate the ideal good intention behind the recruitment of a workforce and the promotion of hardworking staff, it is crucial to have allowed the new government to decide on what categories of staff are needed for recruitment to support the implementation of its promise to Plateau people. There are also allegations of indiscriminate sales of government lands, buildings, vehicles, tractors, and other equipment within and outside the state. One thing that we must state very clearly here, there was a time that the Lalong-led administration stated that they bought 400 tractors. We need to see those 400 tractors at what shape they are. Who were the tractors given to? How did it go through? Not to winch hunt anybody, but we want to ensure that the lean resources that comes into this state is being managed effectively. And this is also a warning to the incoming government, because we're not going to spare anybody. As it keeps on, the government keeps coming and keeps going. We keep doing this review, we keep having this engagement, until when we have our democracy right, that people do not take advantage of the ignorance of the people to submerge or to subject them to unnecessary hardship and difficulties.
Pwakim, however, calls on the outgoing government and civil servants not to indulge in any act that will have a negative effect on the state.
We wish to draw the attention of His Excellency, Right Honorable Simon Bakolalo, people of good conscience, and the entire citizens of Plateau State, to the grave allegations with a view of taking proactive measures to stop the happenings that have the capacity to affect us all. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, ordinarily, who would have used this means of addressing these allegations like writing a letter to the governor? But over time, letters are often not responded to by the governor. We would like to call the attention of the outgoing governor, appointees and civil servants working in these last days of the administration not to indulge in activities that may jeopardize the stability of the new administration. It is true that the sitting governor can still make decisions and take actions until the new governor is sworn in on May 29, 2023. But the outgoing governor should be guided by both the moral and legal burden of responsibility, not to take actions that contravene the laws guiding the state and the principles of good conscience.
The civil society groups hope that the issues raised in this briefing will be looked into by the outgoing government for very peaceful and smooth transition of power. Nasru Saidu, YIAVHA TV News, Jos.